Are you ready to break through the mental barriers holding you back? Welcome to the Mind Mastered Secrets of Excellence with Dawn Grant. Since 2001, Dawn has been guiding elite athletes like PGA Tour champions, Olympians, and world champions, and everyday individuals toward peak performance. With a proven track record, including helping Vijay Singh win the 2008 FedEx Cup, and her PGA Tour clients averaging a 219% increase in earnings, Dawn knows what it takes to succeed. She's the inventor of the Mind Mastered app, author of 7 Strokes in 7 Days, a sought-after speaker worldwide, and the proud owner of Amelia Shotgun Sports in Northeast Florida. Join us as we dive into powerful strategies, inspiring interviews, and Dawn's unique insights to help you excel in every area of your life, sports, career, relationships, and beyond. And now, here's your host, Dawn Grant.
All right, I have Lori, also known as LuLu Huppmann here. Many of you know her around town, and I have a feeling some of you don't know some of the other cool things about Lori that I hope that she shares with us today. So she's so much more than what you think she is. And
oh boy,
I can't wait, because I think you have an amazing life and an amazing story and cool stuff that you've done. So thanks for being here, Lori.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So a lot of folks know around town who you are, but there's plenty of people that will be listening that don't live in Amelia. And so tell us who you are.
My name is Lori Huppmann. I go by LuLu Huppmann. I am the owner of a small business downtown called the Amelia Island Soap and Trading Company. I also have my hands in just about anything I can get into in the community to make the community better. I work part-time for Fernandina Beach Main Street, where I'm their events coordinator, very busy. Enjoyed a lot. I picked up a part-time job during my slow season, and I just kind of kept running with it.
Nice. Take us back to your early life. What did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a veterinarian.
Oh, that makes sense, though, because you have how many dogs?
Right now we have 4 dogs. We are known for adopting the dogs that nobody wants, or even the old dogs. We've kind of stopped adopting the old dogs for now, and recently adopted 2 6 months old that were from the county. They were at a event. And we were interested in one, but we had to take the other one out of the other crate, her sister, for her to come out of her crate. And then he just sat with me at the turtle the whole day, and we took both. So,
That makes total sense. Yeah. So, did you love animals? Is that what it was?
Yes, I absolutely adored animals. I always had like a turtle or something growing up. I was a total tomboy. My mother, at a very young age, told me, learn how to type and you're always going to have a job. So I learned how to type. Back in the day during high school and middle school, typing was a class. I don't know if they even have that anymore. Now it's probably computer science or something. But I was very interested in art. I was like artist of the year in 2nd grade and 3rd grade. And my mom was like, probably not going to make any money being an artist, just always have the backup. So fast forward, I ended up not going to veterinarian school, and I was going to either be a physical therapist, an RN, or a respiratory therapist. And respiratory therapy accepted me first. And so I went down my respiratory therapist journey for 25 years.
What do you feel kind of caused you to shift from being a vet to caring for people?
You want the honest truth?
Only if you want to share it.
A friend of mine went to a veterinarian school, and part of it, she had to put this giant thing on her arm and reach inside of a thing with a cow. Yeah. And I thought, maybe not. I don't want to do. So regardless whether or not that really happens in vet school, I don't know. I just thought maybe I'll just stick with people. And then I started Well, growing up, my best friend was a severe asthmatic, and I was interested in respiratory therapy. And I had met some respiratory therapists and shadowed some and realized I love people and I want to take care of people. This is what I want to do. But my main goal was to eventually work with premature babies. And so throughout my respiratory journey, I did become a specialized neonatal pediatric respiratory flight therapist. So I flew in helicopters, airplanes, and went and picked up people's severely premature babies or pediatric children and took them to a higher level of medical care. So that was my thing. That was in my blood. That's still in my blood. I don't think I could ever go back to it because I could never get back to that specific type of transport that I used to do. I've been out of it for so long. So, but it was, I was an adrenaline junkie.
How did
I
that
still
work?
am.
Like, because it does sound super specialized. Did you have to live in a big city in order to be, that frequently going? Or is it that much of an issue that you would really be busy going to help these neonatals?
Well, you would definitely have to live near a large city with a large facility that has a level 3, or now it's a level 4 NICU, neonatal intensive care unit, or maybe a pediatric intensive care unit. Like you hear about the level 1 trauma centers or level 2 trauma centers. Just really depends on what type of clinical staff they have there to take care of that particular kind of patient. So I started in Tampa with Tampa Children's Hospital. Yeah, and Tampa and the Women's Hospital. That's where I started my whole career. And that was in a helicopter. And then I ended up going out to Houston with Texas Children's, which was my dream job, and flew in fixed wing and drove around in ambulances all day picking up these patients. So they were giant, metropolitan, huge. Houston was the biggest place I've ever lived.
Oh.
And then Jacksonville has it too. They have it at Wolfson's. They have a team there with Baptist Hospital. When I worked with Baptist Hospital, I worked a little bit downtown with Wolfson when I first moved to Fernandina Beach. And I only worked there as needed. And then as soon as they had something up on the island, I moved up on the island. And that's how I got it. And I originally got a master's in it was a master's in science in the healthcare admin realm in order to be the boss of a transport team. That was my whole focus of what I was going to do with that. But life changes, everything shifts, and you don't end up where you end up. You just have to pivot and use it the way you could use it. So I ended up being the manager of the cardiopulmonary department over at Baptist Nassau on the island. So that was the end of my career right there.
With that aspect of your career, how many years did you do that, the neonatal part?
I worked in respiratory for it was like 25 years total. But I want to say I did a neonatal flight for about 15 total of it.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. It was just my thing. I loved it.
It sounds cool. And like, honestly, I just can't even imagine. Like, it's such a specialty with such wisdom that would go into that, and the ability to, respond under pressure and take care of this little infant. And holy cow, sounds incredible.
Well, thank you. I think so. I'm going to give myself a tap on the back. I thought, there were some times where I walked in and it was just like organized chaos, and you package up the baby and you take the baby to a higher level of care and you drop the baby off and then debrief on everything. And you think, what did I just do? I just saved somebody's life. It was beautiful. And I still talk to some parents. Some parents have reached out to me on Facebook and follow me, and I follow them and I follow their journey. And there's some patients that didn't make it, and there's some that do, and they're going to do big things. So
no, I think it's in the top 10 of all the coolest jobs in the world. I can't think of very many others, honestly. Yeah, no.
But I do have to give props to my RNs, all my nurses that I worked with in the field, because you're out there and you're working just side by side with them, and you have a physician on the phone. The physician's not with you. So you have to work together. You have to have that teamwork. You're both type A personalities, and that's difficult to have two type A personalities and to be able to work smoothly. You really just have to learn what they know. They learn what you know, and combine it together and just work together and get through it and do the job.
Very important point there. Secrets of excellence.
Secrets
Yeah.
of excellence.
Yeah. Yeah. Being a type A, I could relate. So there you are at our local hospital and doing the respiratory. What was the exact position again?
I was the manager of the cardiopulmonary department, which
Yeah.
overlooked echocardiogram, respiratory. It was inpatient and outpatient services. Like if you needed a pulmonary function test or a stress test, that was part of my department. And then if you were as a patient inside the hospital, you had our respiratory therapist there.
And then there ends up being another pivot, right? So how did you find out about Amelia Island?
Originally, one of my bestest friends, she was a respiratory therapist with me in Tampa many, many years ago. I was at her farm and, well, let me back up. She and her husband lived on Amelia Island down on the plantation. So I'd been there before in 2012 and visited during Shrimp Fest. And then I went to her farm for her husband's birthday, and there was a band called the Honey Badgers, and they were from Amelia Island. And I was helping her set up and helping her with the party and enjoying the party. And the lead singer, he had things for me.
Caught
And
your
so
eye.
we started dating. And then one of us had to move. I was living in Clearwater, the Clearwater Beach area at the time, and one of us had to move. And I loved Amelia Island. So that's how I got there. The short and sweet.
Right. Yeah. And well, you worked at Jacksonville for a little bit. Then there was a position here. And so, but then life goes on and you pivot again, right? So what happens next?
So then I go back to this farm. It's the magical farm. And she has a little Airbnb there. So just in case you want to go find yourself, I would say just go out there and see it.
What's the name of it?
Crowley Farms in Leicester, North Carolina, near Asheville. So I go back out there to visit her and we're chatting. And she says that her friend who owns the Hawaiian Soap and Trading Company wants to sell it. And this is January of 2020, or maybe December. No, it was January of 2020 because it was her birthday. And I said, well, I want to buy it. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I want to buy it. I need to get out of respiratory. I needed to get out. I was having chest pains. I was in poor health. I had shingles and I was 45 years old I was 46. No, I don't know. Anyway, I was 40 something and the physician said, you are too young to have shingles. You must be under tremendous stress. I said, I am. And so that's how it happened. And during the process of getting the business, giving my month notice at the hospital, COVID started. And I thought to myself, okay, it's just an epidemic. I've been through many epidemics. Well, then it wasn't just an epidemic. And the actual day that I left the hospital, my last day, went home, opened a bottle of wine, Trump said, we're shutting the country down. And I just left my career. What does that mean? What do you mean you shut? I don't get it. So
yeah, none of us got it. It was happening all over the world. It's crazy, right?
So, give me the rest of the wine and let's just drink and think about this. And then, so it was a huge pivot. It was scary. It had an online store.
Yeah. Where were you with the business at that point? Did you have a storefront? Like where
No.
were you? Okay.
The whole thought of my whole plan was I was going to have the online store and do markets in public, which everything was shut down. And I had already reached out to different markets in Florida and I was just going to travel around and do the different markets. And it didn't work out that way. So our home, like everybody's home, you get creative. And my husband had one room. It was the music room. He did his Facebook Lives with his music and the band and out on the front lawn. And then I had another room where I would do my Facebook Lives and we would sell things or I would post and people would purchase things online. And I mean, it was a struggle. It was interesting. And then Kayak Amelia wanted to pull out of their retail space downtown on 2nd Street. They had a little store called YB Green. And so we sublet from them. And during the shutdown, and then I think it was May 20th, we were actually able to open the door to the public and the floodgates open. And we've been there ever since. It's a nice little space. It's just like 240 square feet. It's perfect.
Cute little spot.
I would love a bigger space, but I would not love that inventory. It's a
I
lot of
hear ya.
inventory.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
That's all great. So you feel good about that transition from what you were doing? And, I just thought of something. It's all about caring for people or things, right? It was about, you wanted to care for animals. You wanted to care for people, babies. And now you want to do self-care for people. Like you're offering self-care products, right?
Exactly.
What an evolution.
I know. Well, I also think of it this way. When you walk into my store, like for it to be like a welcoming place, like you walk in and the music's good, the vibe is good, it smells good. You can come in and hang out if you want to. I even put a stool in front of the counter where either the men who are tired of shopping with their wives can sit, or a friend can come in and just chat for 5 or 10 minutes, And it's like a little therapeutic environment for people. It's a little happy place.
Nice.
And if you are from out of town and you don't know where do I go to eat lunch or dinner, I'm going to show you. I'm going to circle on the map. This is where you need to go. This is what you need to order. You need to see this person. I don't know. I love customer service, I guess. But looking back at my medical field, I just don't even think I could ever do it again. First of all, I could not do a 12-hour shift again in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I love people, but then sometimes I just need my space.
Yeah, it'll wear you out helping people because you do give so much of yourself. And then if you're doing, crazy hours and if there's high intensity, which both of the careers you talked about were high stress, high intensity, crazy hours, I honestly don't know how people can do it for the long haul. So totally understandable. And now it's more about peace, right? And offering a calm place for yourself, calm place for people, self-care for yourself, self-care for people. Makes sense. That makes sense. So it was called Hawaiian Soap Shop.
Hawaiian Soap and Trading Company.
Okay. And so
she went on a sabbatical to Hawaii at one point of her life and was so inspired she wanted to model a store after a market in Hawaii. So I was extremely worried about changing the name. I never wanted to rebrand because I figured no one's going to want me to rebrand. No one's going to find me. But you know what? No, rebrand. Make it your own. And I needed to bring the island into the store. People would come in. So I had two different types of people. They'd come in, oh, I loved Hawaii. This is so wonderful. You carry the products that I would buy there. I sourced some products from some of the stores that people have gotten from in Maui or Hawaii, and people recognize those things and they're, oh, I love the name. But then you have the people, why is this called the Hawaiian Soap and Trading Company? You're in Amelia Island. Well, because I want to be different.
Yeah.
But at the same time inside, I'm screaming at myself, why aren't you changing the name?
Yeah.
Why just change the name? It is a pain to go through all of the paperwork and, that side of it. But once you get past that and once you just decide you're going to do it, it gets done. And you're just really, no regrets. Just move forward and do what you want to do.
So when did you change the name and what's the new name?
I changed it April 1st, April Fool's Day of this year. And the name is the Amelia Island Soap and Trading Company. And the new logo is a mermaid swinging on an anchor so one of our biggest products we sell is this all natural sea sponge soap. So there's a little sea sponge next to her and then there's a soap next to her. She's beautiful. We've named her Leilani.
Oh, Leilani. I like that.
No, Lulani.
Oh,
Sorry.
Lulani.
The other girl was Leilani. She's Lulani.
Okay. And you like mermaids, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, I don't know if is the mermaid group still around? What's going on with that?
I think it kind of dwindled. We did have this mermaid society on the island, kind of like the pirates. Our thought was we were going to do good and do, nonprofit things. And I don't know, I got too busy for it. I think it kind of fizzled and went away. I don't think it's there anymore. I still have my mermaid outfit hangs in my closet.
Yeah.
But that's about it. But yeah.
What would you say are some of the major challenges that you've faced along this journey, and how did you overcome those?
So my first challenge was not getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. Your mindset, you don't have a paycheck every 2 weeks. When you work for yourself, you work for yourself. Biggest challenge there, budget, budget, budget. And another big challenge is, marketing, social media marketing, always on top of it. You yourself, you're going through some courses to learn how to pivot through all of that fun stuff and grab people's attention. What really grabs, what does somebody want from my product is my biggest challenge. It's like a daily thing. I wake up in the morning, have all these great ideas, and I write them all down. I don't know. There's just so many things. Like every day, there's something different with my store. But at the same time, I feel confident that if I face those challenges head on, then I feel like I'm just going to be, successful in what I do. And if I'm not successful in it, then I'll go and do something else. But,
Yeah.
I think that the lesson learned from going from my respiratory world to a small business owner is that you can do it. You can do anything you want to do in life as long as you set your mind to it. Actually, one of the biggest challenges right now I'm having is product. And I think it has a lot to do with the economy. Some of my products that I get from different vendors, they no longer have them. They can't get a certain product to make their product. And I have one lotion that everybody wants. It's lemon coconut lotion, and I just can't get it. It's not available. And I don't know why, but I'll keep asking the vendor, when is it going to be available? But other than that, I just kind of substitute and get a different fragrance for them.
Curious, since your business is really different from mine, like your inventory and all that. It was really obvious after COVID, when we were all trying to really get going again, that there was supply chain issues, right? Like all over the world. So, like you just said, it could be some small part. Like for us, there was some small part made in Italy that went into the creation of ammo, and like without that small part, then there was an ammo shortage, and so and people weren't showing up for work in the warehouses, and they didn't have enough just people. So do you feel like that's still lingering in any way? Because I don't really hear much about it. And so I didn't know if we've recovered, or if it's still lingering, or if it's more of just this whole economy thing based on how expensive everything is. And like, what do you think about that?
I think a lot of things right now are cost-based of my decisions on whether or not I want to purchase something at this point. I think people are going back to work versus the shortage. That was one of the biggest things that I saw in the beginning, is it would take a month to get a certain kind of soap because it just took that long for them to make it, produce it, ship it, package it, get it to me. Cost is definitely up. These blankets that I purchase, and it may not be a lot, but it's like a trickle, and it may be just like $1 more or $3 more. But when you turn around and you buy that wholesale and then you sell it retail, it's a higher price. And then people are coming into your store and they're like, well, why is this much now when it used to be this much? But I definitely see it's constant. It's just not.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going away anytime soon, unfortunately.
Fingers crossed that it does, because holy cow, it's pretty rough living in the money world right now. Anything related to money is pretty tough right now.
Yeah. So I'm really interested in seeing what happens with the economy in the upcoming year. Definitely, who's going to be our president? What is that president going to do? Is there really going to be that much of a shift or a change, or I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Do you know that we can't shut down the world again like we did? I think that just really destroyed us, and it's taken a long time to recover from that.
It sure has. Then, that word unprecedented, like to me, that carries so much weight, because there are criticisms of who did what and who didn't do what. And I'm just like, I don't know that any of us knew what to do, really. I mean, And then you've got such a new modern day with social media and regular media. There are media sources and what to believe and not to believe. And you and I were chatting before I started recording on how on social media people just have this freedom that they love using of saying whatever they want. And I was talking to Joe the other day because he'll see something on social media and he'll be like, look at this, and he believes it. And I'm like, honey, I could have made that letterhead myself and typed that letter and posted it and told the world that this is written by so and so and so, or it'll be an image. And I'm like, honey, you don't know. I could edit an image and do that same thing. And I think him, like a lot of people, don't necessarily pause to go, is this real or not? Because there is so many things that aren't real. And anyway, so to me, adding that to COVID, what do we believe? How big is it really? How do we shut down the world? Do we not? How do you know? I can't even imagine being somebody like a president trying to figure it out.
No, I don't. I would never want to be president and make those kinds of choices. And I'm not going to tell the president what to do. But I will say, I don't think it's a good idea to lock everybody down again. But it is hard to say, if there is this microscopic bug that's killing people, what do you do?
Yeah.
Hopefully not shut everybody down again. Yeah. As far as being a small business owner, it's a constant hustle. It's constant. Every day is different. Challenges are different. Today's challenge is going to be completely different than tomorrow. Especially right now, the store is closed for I'm pretty sure the next 2 days, today and tomorrow, because of the storm. And then people won't want to come to town after the storm. And then, it's just kind of like this recovery effect after a storm. And then it's beautiful weather. And then everybody comes to town, but then nobody wants to come downtown to shop because they want to go to the beach. I mean, it's just like this constant, what do you do?
I see the same thing at the Shotgun Club. It could be an amazing day, beautiful in every way possible, and it will be dead. And I'm just like, it's so unpredictable. And I'll drive downtown or past the beach. I'm like, it's swamped. It's kind of like what you just said. Even you being downtown, you're like, well, they go to the beach. There's to me, there's so much to do. Where Joe owned a Shotgun Club in South New Jersey, and it was farmland. For miles, you had to drive 40 minutes to get to a store. So he would be swamped all the time. And when we would compare a lot, and I would think, when I go around Amelia Island, there are people jogging, there are people biking, there are people going to the fort, they're going to the Greenway, going to the beach. There's excursions now. Oh my gosh, those have built like crazy. The little one motor, little 2 people boat thingies and kayak tours, and there's so much to do.
Or the little motorcycle things. Are they motorcycles or scooters where there's 2 people seated? There's one in the back, one in the front. They kind of look like pods.
Yeah.
Have you seen them?
I have.
You can go. There's all kinds of things to do now.
The trolley tours are what really get me. I feel like they're looking out a zoo. It's like a drive-through zoo, and their eyes are just amazed at looking at Amelia. It's amazing when you've lived here a long time to see how it's changed. So as a business, especially an outdoor business, 7 weeks of rain, holy cow, we basically have been shut down for 7 weeks. And you go back to what you said, no paycheck every 2 weeks. That's life of owning a business, right?
And you can't forecast some things like the rain. So then that's for my benefit because I sell umbrellas now. That's one of the things. And I sell these tiny compact umbrellas. I'm like, let me just try this. Because everybody comes in, do you sell umbrellas? Like, no, but you know what? I think that's a good idea. So that's one of the things I just started selling. And, a lot of people travel or they're just downtown and they need a small umbrella and there you go. But when it rains, people can't go to the beach. They can't go shoot guns at the Shotgun Club. They go from store to store and they shop all day and then go to lunch and go to dinner. So it's very unpredictable.
It is. So what do you feel like, again, going back to kind of secrets of excellence and the mind, and how do you manage through things like that, or the unpredictability, the unknowing? What do you do for yourself?
Personally, for myself, what is my regimen to keep me sane?
Well, yeah. And just your mindset, what makes you stick in there?
So my mother also said, take 5 minutes for yourself. a day. And I do. And one of the things that I also do is my husband makes fun of me for this, but I love to take naps. Just 20-minute nap, put my headphones in, listen to my Don Grant meditation 20 minutes. And even though I've listened to it probably maybe close to 1,000 times, it just, boom, puts me to sleep. 20 minutes, whatever you say to me in my ears, I wake up feeling refreshed, and then I can go on. Eating right. In the morning, I eat Beyond Greens. I have a green drink. You got to take care of your insides as well as your outside. I need to exercise more, but I try to eat right. I try to cook all of our meals. It's hard as a small business owner and running around constantly to eat right, have a good diet. And when I feel like I have so much anxiety, I either do one of your audios and listen to it and take a nap, or I make a list. I write down what's bothering me. What can I change? Is it really that bad? Or am I just having a bad day? What's going on in the world? Is a full moon? Am I getting enough sleep? And I love to read right before I go to bed too. I like to sit down at like maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock and fall asleep to reading a book, because when I read a book, it's taking my mind away from everything else. And it's just kind of processing something completely different. Whether it's a scary book or whatever, a mystery or whatever I'm reading, it doesn't even matter what it is, self-help book. And then when I wake up in the morning, I feel like my mind has had time to just kind of like recover from the previous day. So that's how I do it. And a calendar.
Okay.
I keep a paper calendar because the digital calendars don't keep me in check. They really don't. Actually, in the back of my mind, I know that calendar's there. I can look at it as a whole, and that really eases my mind.
To know that anything you're thinking about, there is a day that you've written it in. It doesn't have to be today, but you see it there and you know it's going to be taken care of, like that kind of feeling. Yeah. Yeah, I can relate to that because the to-do lists do get long. And if you don't piecemeal it and break it down by kind of priorities, and like you said, every day's so different. So even if you break it down and you have a plan of what's today, you still have to reprioritize every day because things come up. I guess it's like resiliency and staying calm under pressure and understanding what to do if you're not feeling calm.
And you have to accept. You have to go into the day accepting that today is not going to go as planned. You cannot plan that. And I think also I benefit from my past experiences with my past life of being thrown into chaos and working under high pressure. I work great under high pressure, like with the Joy to the Children on a Christmas day. I walk in there, things are going crazy and people are trying to set up, and I'm walking in there and I'm the calmest that I can feel. So that's kind of how I deal with things.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Stay calm.
Yeah, I do my own hypnosis audios also. And in the last few weeks, I don't know really what's going on, but it's one of those periods of time where it feels like everything is just like you're in a firing range. Like this happened and this happened and this happens. It's like just when you think it's too much, then something else happens. And it's just, I don't really know why, because I've not had that happen in a while, but it's been happening for a few weeks now. And I can tell like I need a break, right? And for me, when I read, it was always self-improvement kind of stuff because I'm fascinated with it. I do what I love, like, and I love learning about it. But at times I'm like, even that's worked on because it's what you do and it's work on yourself even. So it's like, stop all the work. So I purposefully buy books that take me into a little fantasy life, because and I had never really done that before. It's been very deliberate in the last, I guess, 2 years. Even when I go get a mani-pedi, I'm like, that book is going with me, damn it. Because I will work even through my mani-pedi. I have to be super deliberate. And if I don't bring that book, man, I better find a magazine or something, because I'm just trying to make myself do something else besides working or anything related to work. And going into a story, a fictional story, you can really get sucked into it. It takes you out of all the to-do lists and everything. And
think about this. Why do we work so hard?
Well, financial freedom.
Right. Why do we work so hard? Because we want to enjoy our lives, right? So what as small business owners, as women, what do? We are just constant. We want to work 24 hours a day at our project, 7 days a week. So for instance, today I'm in San Ramon, California. Unfortunately, I'm here for my uncle's funeral, which is in a couple of hours. And my it, for the people who don't know me, I was born in San Francisco, and my father's side of the family is out here in the Bay Area. So that's why I'm out here with them. I have a brother out here and his family, and I'm going to enjoy the time with them to see them. I have not seen everybody in 7 years. 7 years flew by like in a week. And so when I got here, rented my car, flew into Oakland. You take a girl off Amelia Island, and I'm just so comfortable there. I get on 2 planes, I fly out here. It's chaos. I'm stressed out. And I had to stop and think, wait a minute, let's just enjoy the moment. How long has it been since I've been on an airplane? It's been a long time. I used to fly on the airplanes every day for my old job.
Right.
Why am I so nervous about flying an airplane? I shouldn't be nervous about flying an airplane. Just, bring it back. Where's that girl that, used to just want to do everything? She was kind of locked down because she's been working so much. And then when I got my rental car, I'm driving through the canyons to get to my hotel, and I'm having a blast. I'm pissing everybody off because I'm driving 30 miles an hour because I don't want to drive off the cliffs. But I'm having a blast because I'm not anywhere I should be. Like I'm nowhere. I'm not at my store. I'm not at my desk. I have no idea where I'm going. I don't know where lunch is. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just have my Siri telling me which way to go to get to the hotel. So I thought, I was laughing at myself yesterday. I was like, I just really need to take advantage of this.
Yeah.
And then my brother and my sister-in-law were like, oh, you should have told us you were here so early, because we thought you were coming at 4:30. I got here at 1:30 because there's a time difference that I didn't account for. And so now I've actually enjoyed just doing nothing.
Nice.
And finding my way. So just take the time.
You mentioned working 7 days a week, and I've talked about this in some of the other podcasts. I've been working 7 days a week for as long as I can remember, literally 20, 30 years. I don't even know. And I find myself missing what I remember to be a weekend. And for me, that goes all the way back to school. Like that countdown, Wednesday's hump day, Friday, yay, it's almost the weekend. Saturdays we're sleeping in and having pancakes. And it was an absolutely totally different feel than a work day. And, on Sunday, it was time with family. And if you went to church, then there was this routine around that. And I miss that delineation. Now, there's pros and cons, obviously, to being self-employed. And I think for me, the pros outweigh the cons. But yeah, I can work every waking moment and wake up in the middle of the night still thinking of something that I need to do or write down. And so I'm trying really hard and not 100% succeeding yet at having 2 days off a week. And I'm I feel lost. Literally, I wake up that morning and, I usually have a leisurely morning anyways with coffee and relaxing and sitting outside and, doing some meditation. But after that, I feel like I'm not being productive if I'm not checking emails or not doing something. And what about my to-do list? And I am at a loss. And so it's taking so much effort. And I haven't done it yet. I've done half days, kind of.
So just set a limit. Say, okay, after my coffee and my outdoor time and meditation and getting, waking up, then just, okay, I'm not going to work past 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And that's where my calendar comes into play. I look to see, I have this due and I have that due. Okay, well, I'm going to break it down. I'm going to do it this day and I'm going to do it that day. I'm going to focus on those. And our weekends are not our weekends anymore. Our weekends are our busiest time for our businesses.
It's true.
That's when people have off. So my weekends are usually Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm working on Tuesday, Wednesdays because the clubs close those days. And I'm less likely to get phone calls, right? Because those employees are off. And I think you and I have talked about this before, but I have an app. Well, it's a website also, but it uses AI to help you juggle, right? And you can put in your tasks that you need to do. And set a due date and prioritize all these things, and you can even drag and drop. But I'm telling it, what's the priority, and then it puts it in my calendar. And if I do it, I check it off. If I don't do it, it knows and it reschedules it. And so it takes a lot of that extra work out for me. But then I can also block days. And so, Tuesday, Wednesdays, say weekend. So AI isn't even allowed to schedule for me. But I'll still go, oh, well, that's an easy one. I'll do that for a few hours. Next day, I know it's 4 hours. So I have a lot of work to do around giving myself weekends. And it's so important because, again, I mentioned for several weeks, it's been like a firing range. So and then I see it even more, right? Like I need downtime. And it feels so good. Like what you described, driving out there, and it feels so good. I'm living vicariously through you.
It did. I should send you the video I was trying to take. I was just laughing. I was like, it has been so long since I've actually laughed like this and just felt just free. And I'm like, nobody knows where I am. No one I don't even have to, I can't go anywhere. I don't even know where I'm going. Where am I going? And I just wanted to get out of Oakland because Oakland was a little shady to me. But that's the little island girl in me now. Like we are so spoiled on Amelia Island and in Fernandina Beach in Nassau County. Really, everything is at a certain pace, and you know everybody, and you trust your surroundings. Here, I have to open my eyes to see where I'm going, who's around me, and be aware of what's going on. Like last night, my brother says, "Well, when you return your rental car on Saturday, make sure you get gas here versus Oakland because you will get carjacked." And I thought,
yes, you will.
Wait a minute.
By the way, you will.
So by the way, I have to return this rental car at 4 a.m. to get to I have to leave at 4 a.m. to get to the airport to return it. And then, you have to get on a bus to take you to the actual airport. And I'm thinking, it's going to be like 5 a.m. Is there going to be somebody there? What should I do? Is there security? How do I do this? But I'm just going to have to trust myself that I'm aware of what's going on. And I don't think I could take mace on the plane, but maybe I could buy some mace and then ditch it. I'll know what to do. Or have my big brother meet me at the rental car place to drive me to the airport. I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons we love Amelia, Nassau County, and some of them we don't realize till we go out of town. And I travel a lot for work, and so I am seeing different towns. And sometimes it's not even the town that's our destination; it's just pulling off the road to get gas or food, and you're like, oh, this town feels shifty, and then another town doesn't, and it's just a variety. But about a year and a half ago, I bought a convertible, and I bought it up in New Jersey where Joe was living. And so driving it back, of course, I wanted to have the top down, and we went through this town that we both knew was a bad town. There's like cops in there all the time. There's gunshots every night, and I'm sitting at a red light. He's in front of me in his truck. I'm sitting at a red light with my windows and top down, my purse is right over there on the passenger seat. And I'm just like, this is not smart, Dawn. This is not smart. But I was looking over every shoulder. I was wondering if I should roll up my windows, but then I didn't want to be too obvious, all this stuff going through my mind. We get to Joe's, and he was like, I was so worried about you back there. And I'm like, I was worried about me too, And he's like, are you going to feel like that in Fernandina with a convertible, right? Like, are you going to? And I was like, no. Like, you don't, I would never in a moment for even a second feel that way, whether I'm sitting at a red light, whether my purse is on the passenger seat, like such freedom in that. I honestly can't imagine living someplace where you are under threat like that constantly. Talk about stress.
Yeah, that's a little stressful. It was a little stressful for me in Oakland. And to think about that, that's all I thought about this morning when I woke up at 3 a.m. I was just like, okay, how am I going to do this? And then I thought, okay, pull yourself back. Just be aware. Just be yourself. You got this. You can do anything. Just, be aware of your surroundings. And I'm sure that they have security there, so I'm not worried about it. But I may call today to make sure. It's been interesting being in a different place when you just don't travel that far. Yeah. I mean, I've gone to different places. Working with Main Street, I've gone to Tallahassee for the week for a conference, and then we went to Defuniak Springs, which was lovely, for a few days for a quarterly conference there. But there were people there and I knew, I
Yeah.
knew where I was going. But it's been so long since I've been out here in California by myself.
Yeah.
And little Lulu out in California. Here we are.
Or a little different but similar topic. During the COVID time, actually after, everything was reopened, but some people still had uncertainty. When we would travel, again, just pulling off the road to get food or pulling off the road to get gas, could be a whole town where every single person's wearing masks and they're all still standing, 6 feet apart, and they're looking at each other and don't sneeze, and you could go 50 miles down the road to a whole nother town and there's no masks. Everybody's like walking around fine, and like amazing how different these little pods of people and towns were, and the mindset.
That's how it is here. So everybody wears a mask here. I have really bad allergies this time of year. I've been like this for a month. So I know I'm not COVID positive. I just know myself. And ever since I had COVID, I've seen a change in the seasons of allergies that I have and the way that my lungs react to it. It's been awful, but I just deal with it. And let me tell you about Teslas. So I love the whole concept of the electric car, and it drives by itself. There are so many of them here. I've almost been hit walking through the parking lots here by Teslas. They're everywhere.
Oh, wow.
And you have to pay 10 cents for a bag if you want to purchase something. And, so everything that I purchased while I'm out here, I refuse to buy a bag because then I have to throw away the bag. And where do I throw away the bag? It's a completely different world out here. There's charging stations everywhere. It's like the Jetsons live out here. Compared to Fernandina Beach, it's just very different.
Wow.
And the car that I'm driving a Volkswagen Jetta, something that is very fuel efficient, like 29 miles per gallon, which is great because gas is $6 a gallon out here.
Okay.
It's just different. Totally different. But yeah, watch out for those Teslas. And then my brother said that in the city, they have driverless cabs. You call it up on an app. It finds you, verifies that it's you. It opens the door. You get in and you sit there and nobody's in the driver's seat, and it takes you where you want to go.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't know if I want to go to the city and try this out. I'm leaving on Saturday because I can't. I'm down here anyway. I might as well just stay an extra day. But now I really can't because that storm is coming. But I'm coming back on Saturday. So I thought maybe I'll go to the city and check this out.
Wow. I have two immediate thoughts because I've seen commercials with those cars and they're like going around hairpin turns while they're watching a movie. And I'm like, nope, not for me. I don't have that much trust in a computer. I'm sorry. They do malfunction, electrical issues happen, so there's that thought. And then the other is like, how does it really stop? Like it's fast enough to not hit somebody.
So going to Target, like, how you walk through the walkway and people have to stop for you, because it's a pedestrian walkway. I've almost been hit twice by Teslas going through. And I'm wondering, are the people actually driving it, or is the Tesla just not stopping at the pedestrian walkway?
Right.
So I stop, I wait, look both ways, make sure that nobody's coming, and then go. It's just been a very interesting experience out here. Totally different.
Well,
to be continued with the driverless cab. I might have to go check that out.
Well, talk about just to shift, like people who live there who are now used to it probably. They're now probably yielding to Teslas because they don't know if it's going to stop or not, rather than a car yielding to pedestrians. Like the pedestrians now have to make sure it's safe to walk.
Yeah. Well, I said something to my brother. I said, these Teslas, I've almost been hit twice. And he started laughing, and I'm just like, I don't understand it. And then that's when they were telling me about the driverless cabs. And I was like, I've never even heard of that.
Wow.
I don't even know how that, and you're right. There's malfunctions. And what if somebody hijacks it somehow, or,
It's not for me. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe I'll say something different in
Weird.
5 or 10 years, but I'm not ready.
Maybe.
I'm not interested in that. Oh my gosh.
And
So,
is the cost more? Like, that's another question. Does it cost more to take one of these cabs versus a person who drives the cab? It's kind of like going to Publix and using the self-checkout. I just refuse to do that. I want to keep those people in a job. So I go to the other line where there's a human to check me out. So I don't know.
I think there's a interesting human phenomenon that happens. And I think that a lot of, whether it's a society as a whole or certain people that lead it or groups of people, but it's almost like we can go so extreme instead of just finding a happy medium. Because I think there's probably some happy medium spots for having electronic things or robots or whatever. I don't know. Should we really do it on the roads and with people walking? And I feel like there are hairpin turns in Colorado. I feel like, isn't it soon? Isn't it kind of soon on this technology to have it be, life-threatening potential?
I don't know. I'm with you though. I'm not ready for it, but I have to go see what this is all about. And I'm out here, so I might as well just go check it out and
Oh, totally.
see what's going on. But yeah, I was like, why don't people stop in the pedestrian walkways here? And then I realized they were all, there's Teslas everywhere and other like evil and whatever brand electronic cars there are out here. But they're just I wonder if they don't realize that they're in a pedestrian walkway, or maybe they just don't yield to pedestrians here in California. Who knows?
Right. Interesting. Good observations. So where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
Lord, I see myself still working for myself. I do love my store. I do love working in other areas. I do love doing events. I do love nonprofits. So I don't know. I see myself probably doing the same thing, but at a higher level of thinking. And I'm not sure what's going to happen to the store. My lease is up, in 2025 or 2026. I can't remember. Anyway, I don't know. We'll see. But I know what I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be going backwards. I will still keep my respiratory license only because I worked really hard for it. But I don't think I'll ever be a respiratory therapist again.
Mm-hmm. Well, and speaking of your lease being up and not knowing what's happening around that, but you do have an online store.
I have an online store.
What's the website?
It's Amelia Island Soap.com. We have a points program. I try not to send out too many newsletters, but I like for my people to know what's going on with the store, what kind of products we have in, because a lot of times people are waiting for certain things to come in. Sometimes I do free shipping. I don't like to do free shipping a lot because shipping has gone up in cost.
Mm-hmm.
So please understand that with me. I'm pretty fair about shipping, the cost of it. I don't like to gouge people with that. And I see myself still being the entrepreneur that I am and continuously learning from everybody that I can continuously learn from, and networking.
What are your top products? Tell me, what can people find on your store, in your store?
Our top products, the all natural sea sponge soaps. They are sustainably harvested sea sponges from Tarpon Springs, Florida, and they marry them with a goat's milk and olive oil soap. The fragrances are just really nice. They're not overpowering, and it lathers really nice, and it just creates this nice foam and gently exfoliate. You can testify that.
Yep.
I usually give one to somebody as a gift all the time, but it gently exfoliates and hydrates your skin kind of at the same time. The dry oil body sprays are amazing. We do have other goat's milk and olive oil soaps that without the sea sponge that are really nice on your skin, and our shea butter, just our premium soaps, and jewelry. We have this bold bee jewelry that's made in Australia and the Philippines, and it's really beautiful jewelry. I love to carry that. So those are our top products. Oh, and our Gently Loved Hawaiian shirts.
Oh, Gently Loved.
We recycle them. They're all $25. They're in great shape. Yeah.
What's the one piece of advice or wisdom that you would pass on to listeners of something, big that you feel you've learned on this journey so far?
I've said it many times today. I think have a plan, but be willing to pivot daily. And I everything is very scary, and it's okay to be scared. Just move forward, and all those doors are going to open for you.
Lovely. I love
And
it.
take care of yourself.
Yes, concur. Working on it. The mental trainer's working on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my mental trainer, by the way.
So thank you. I want to tell all the listeners that there are some free goodies on my for my 3 businesses at dawngrant.com/free, whether it's like a free golf cart or push cart or the shotgun club, or free access to some hypnosis or mental training. And folks can come see me on Amelia Shotgun Sports and follow me on any social media, all social media. And you've got some good social media going on too, right, LuLu?
I do. We are on Facebook at Amelia Island Soap Co. and Instagram. And also, yeah, you can look me up on Lori Huppmann or LuLu Huppmann. I have a lot of followers that I like to follow back, and I kind of put all of my stuff on all of my social media platforms together.
Perfect. Perfect. We'll have a beautiful trip out there in California. I look forward to hearing of this humanless driving bus.
Humanless, yeah.
Thanks for joining me on here, and be safe.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Mastered Secrets of Excellence with Dawn Grant. Whether you're an elite athlete or pursuing success in your career or personal life, Dawn Grant's expertise and insights are here to guide you. Don't forget to visit dawngrant.com/free to grab your exclusive free resources, hypnosis audios, mental training tools, and even a golf cart at her club. If you enjoyed today's episode, follow, rate, and share this podcast. Stay connected with Dawn on all social media platforms for more inspiration, tips, and updates. Remember, mastering your mind is the key to unlocking your full potential. Until next time, keep pushing your limits and striving for excellence.